Ticket Podcast. I am your host this week. I'm Tamara.
And I'm Misty.
And we are 2/3 of the MILF Ticket Podcast. Mercedes is home cooking for her family as she should on this good Wednesday night and before Thanksgiving. But we are the ladies of the MILF Ticket Podcast. We are real women, real talk.
And real raw.
Period. There has been a lot of news in the media on Kandi and Todd's divorce. Now, for the girlies who grew up on Real Housewives in general, especially the ones of Atlanta, this was news to some of us. I mean, maybe to some of us, but to some of us.
Yeah.
And so we just want to take a little deep dive into the situation and kind of talk through the specifics, kind of break down, everything that's been unfolding in the media, and then just kind of give a MILF Ticket take on what's been happening. You cool with that, Misty? All right. So Kandi filed for divorce after 11 years of marriage.
11 years is wild.
11
That's a
years.
long time.
And it was just at Blaze party, just smiling and acting like ain't nothing happened.
Yeah.
Filed divorce after 11 years. I guess my question goes to, do you think marriages suddenly break, or do you think it's like a slowly die out? And I know that that's situational and it's not one size fits all,
yeah.
But from what you experience and what you see, especially for our age group, for us 30-somethings, I guess Kandi would be 40-somethings at this point.
Yeah.
What does that look like to you? Do you think it slowly dies out, or do you think it just breaks and that's it?
I think it slowly erodes because I feel like us, the ladies of the MILF Ticket Podcast, we are all divorced women. We are. Right? Mm-hmm. We all have tried our best to hang on just to the strings, to the last little bit. And I think that is the slow erode, when you try to hold on despite the things that you're trying to ignore, trying to fight through. So yeah, I think it's a slow erode because you try to hold on.
Yeah, and I think timing has a lot to do with it. You don't be with someone for 11 years and then something quick happens and you be done. I think with that type of time investment, family investment, financial investment, there's a lot more that you think through before you just make a decision. And so all of the days where you're smiling through, pushing through, and trying to stomach what the reality of it is, I just think it's a hard situation to be in. I think that's a very hard situation.
I think it took her so long because she was still kind of figuring out that it was a scheme that Todd set up.
It was a scheme set up by
you with the bullshit.
Okay, to come to you with the bullshit. I think Auntie was on to something when she said a scheme set up by Todd so that he can come to you with the bullshit. Okay,
and we all owe her mama an apology.
You think
because
so?
Because she's seen him with her good eyes from day one.
See, she was with that. Mm-hmm. So my question for you is, do you think they were faking it for the brand? Or do you think that, there are some genuine happy days and, it just didn't work out?
You know what? Because we've been watching Kandi for so long, I feel like we know her.
That's our cousin.
I feel like Kandi is a businesswoman at heart. Mm-hmm. And I think that where business lies, she's going to continue to show up. So I feel like in the background, things weren't necessarily going as planned. You know what I mean? They weren't going as planned, but I think that she was still kind of showing up because money needed to be made, and her brand is everything to her. So,
which I completely understand. Yeah. I mean, have you ever felt like you were in a situation where you had to fake it till you make it,
God,
looking happy on the outside when in real life you are miserable and you hate the whole situation?
There are so many women out there, including us, that have done that. And listen, I'm ready to tell my story, but for another day.
Okay, period. And see, for me, I feel like some of it was so circumstantial.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I faked all the good days. I had plenty good days before I got divorced. I just think that at some point there was an overturn on good days outweighing the bad days. Yeah. And then that became its own thing. But I don't think that, I don't know if I was exactly faking it for everybody else as much as I was trying to make it make sense. So let's just take a walk through the relationship, the breakdown, and all of the things. So let's take it back. Origins of the relationship legit started off messy, and so the foundation was a little rocky. They met on the Real Housewives of Atlanta set where Todd was one of the producers. So it was already an imbalance of, of power, in my opinion. And so would you date somebody that worked for you? Do you think you can, not somebody who works with you, somebody who works for you. Do you think you can date somebody who works for you?
Damn. would say yes, because I'm optimistic and I don't like to close myself out. And where that person is right in that moment cannot dictate where they're going or what their purpose is. So, like, I think I could.
I cannot. Okay, so I answered that in two ways.
Now that's a difference though. He had like that's a career to be any type of producer or anything. Like we can't not to cut you off. We can't make that a small thing. It ain't like he was bagging groceries in the grocery store,
which is fair,
or dropping fries. Like this is kind of something. Being a producer of a show or working with the show is still kind of a big deal because if those type of jobs were tangible, then everybody would be working them. So like I don't want to minimize where he was. So if he was the producer, you know what I mean, in the show, in the set that I worked on, I could do that because it's not like he flipping burgers.
Yeah, but I guess it's still him working
for you,
for her, in a sense. And again, somebody who I used to work with my ex-husband, and then eventually I got promoted a few times and like ended up in a few roles that were, I guess, above his role. He still had like his side business and whatnot, but in that particular business, to me, that was hard.
Yeah.
I feel like whether men or specifically men admit it, that power dynamic sometimes weigh on them. And it weighs in a way where it feels like you're in a role that they should be in. And you almost pay for it. I feel like there are times where women of power almost pay for the power that they sit in if the man doesn't meet that same power. And to me, that's an insecurity thing. That's a growth thing that people obviously have to grow through. But it's a reality. I think that it's an ego hit when your woman makes more money than you or she's in a position that's higher than you, especially wanting to be the breadwinner, the provider, and the person who drives the relationship. To me, those gender roles shouldn't matter. It literally comes down to, is our house taken care of? Do we have the things that we need? Is everybody fulfilled purpose-wise? Because that's what's most important. Like if he wanted to be a producer and he was walking in purpose, she wanted to be, a housewife and was walking in purpose, I can understand that. But I can absolutely understand how that power dynamic can be challenging for some people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, obviously it depends on, excuse me, it depends on the man. We can't just expect everybody that has a dynamic like that for it to kind of crash and burn, because some actually really work. Like some situations like that actually really work, where it's like we understand that we have strengths and weaknesses and we both kind of coexist within that and make sure that we're kind of working together to meet our goals.
So I guess my other question to you is, how often do you see that power dynamic overturn or change? Where do you think how you get them is how you lose them? If you started in position of power and doing all of the things over this person, is there, and I know that there is, again, circumstantial, but when we're talking the majority of situations that you've experienced, do you think that the man eventually gets in position where he makes more money than the wife and all of the things? Do you think that power dynamic overturns at some point?
I do, and I think it has in some cases, where you meet someone that probably wasn't where you wanted them to be or where they wanted to be in that moment, and that's the power of growth and partnership. So allowing, and maybe he has more access to more resources by way of you and things of that sort. So I do think that it kind of overturns if you're with the right man who can take a hold of opportunity.
Yeah. Again, I think if ego and pride doesn't get in the way,
I
think that I personally feel like women elevate men in a way that we don't speak about enough. They say that men do 10 times better with a woman by their side. Women do much better without a man. It literally is just the facts of how things go.
Yeah.
I think that with the right woman and with the right motivation, you can absolutely overturn that, whatever that power dynamic is, where you can make more and get investments and kind of make your self-worth and all things go up.
Yeah.
And so just to kind of switch gears, which kind of runs in the same conversation, when it comes down to the money and power and like who actually ran the relationship, Kandi came into the relationship with millions. Like she came into it with a singing career, she came into it with businesses, she came into it with big ideas, she came into it a housewife, so she was already in her bag. And I don't know if Todd was quite there financially when it comes down to being on her level and all of the things. And eventually they tied everything together. So we're talking restaurants, production company, brand deals, all of the things were tied into their dynamic. I guess when you are considering taking on a partner in that way, is there anything, I guess, from that dynamic that you would have identified as a quote-unquote red flag that would have made you not want to partake in that way?
Well, so here's the thing. I think we talked about this before when we spoke about how we felt about prenups. And I said, I truly believe in prenups, and I myself don't mind signing one, because the partnership that we have during the marriage and what we build in the marriage is what we walk away with. I walk away with what I came with, of course, but we walk away with the percentage in half with what we've built together. Yeah. So I don't necessarily think it was any type of red flags within that. I think she was really doing her best to make sure that it was a partnership in her marriage.
And see, for me, I think the red flags would have been on Todd's end. To me, it was stuff like publicly taking credit for ideas that you know you did not come up with.
See, I didn't see any of those, but I did see it was a great deal of him like arguing with her or debating with her or having hypothetical conversations with her while on live of certain sets by saying, so if we divorce, you know, do I walk away with nothing? And
see,
he kept making it about money. So those red flags absolutely did rise. But I thought she was meaning like red flags within a relationship of us putting things together.
No, I mean like within their dynamic specifically. Okay. And so like how much he complained that she was never around and always busy, but you was spending the money. You was expanding businesses, like you were contributing to things that can make her busy. But I feel like the things that personally made her happy busy, where it wasn't connected to him in any way, it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
And so do you think the breadwinner has the final say when it comes down to the household? Whoever makes the most money, do you think they have the final say on things as it pertains to a household?
Fuck.
Yeah. Do you think the breadwinner has the final say? Who gets to say it is what it is?
Ooh, that's a controversial topic. You know why? You know why that's controversial? Because I may very well be the breadwinner, but that does not mean that the respect still is deserved. So you might be the breadwinner, but I mean the leadership in the marriage is still with the husband. So I don't think that they necessarily have, you know, the final say. You might make all the goddamn money and can't make any type of level-headed decisions. Like,
but how often do those two go hand in hand? Where and I do know that there are dumb millionaires. There are dumb people who can't make good day-to-day life decisions.
Just impulsive shoppers or people who you may not know how to invest it properly or how to grow it. So just because I have a career or multiple streams does not mean that I am necessarily the smartest when it comes to financial decisions. My husband might have that strength. My husband might have other connections and resources to help me to maximize that.
So I guess my question goes back to, are you letting a broke nigga big dog you? Oh. No, I want you to stand in it. I want you to sit in it.
I hate that.
Are you letting a broke man big dog you?
No.
Yeah, no. I guess I'm just trying to understand. Like, no. we not letting a broke man big dog us?
I hate the way that sounds. No.
How do I answer this? For me, I feel like the type of man that I attract and the type of man that I aspire to date just simply wouldn't put me in that position. And I feel like I know personally I would be uncomfortable in situations where I can big dog my man. And so I prefer dynamics where the man makes more money or the man has the leverage that he needs to run a household. Because subconsciously and always in the back of your mind, you're going to be looking at him like, get your broke ass out my face. Like,
no.
And not even in a disrespectful way, but in a, how can you tell me or lead me somewhere when you do not have the backing, the knowledge, the finances, or anything to lead me in that way?
That's the difference in what you said. Now, we have to differentiate some things.
Yeah.
Just because he makes less than me and I am the big dog financially doesn't mean that he a bum sitting on the couch with a hole in his sock eating all your son's cereal.
No. And see, I just need him financially secure. I just need you financially secure
But
where you feel good in your finances. It doesn't have to be more than me, but just good in your finances.
But that's the difference in what you said. You asked where was it, would I be able to respect a dynamic where I make more but still give him the final say? That can potentially happen, but it's levels to the bummery. Like
not the bummery.
The bummery. It's levels to the bummery. He may just not make more than I make, but we still equally share a life together where he brings his half and I bring mine, or whatever the case may be. Yeah. Now, if he's an actual bum, now that's a difference.
Which I don't think we would date bums, but if you were dating somebody who could pay half the bills, but when it was time for vacation, he just never hit it. He would be hanging onto your back pocket saying, hey, baby, how we going to do it? Because he wants to, but he just simply cannot.
Well, first of all, we wouldn't be vacationing if
so ain't no money.
Our priorities. Our priorities wouldn't be on vacationing.
So have you ever financially carried a man?
Yes.
Where you've had to be the sole provider?
Yes, and that motherfucker was mean.
They not nice people. Not nice people. Broke people are not happy. Happy people are not broke. Ooh. Like, I just know that broke men are just not happy people.
Meanie.
It's just not nice. Very much projecting. Very much abusive. Very much not nice.
And y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all dated somebody that was mean as hell before because he ain't had no money.
So did it change the dynamic?
Hell
that
yeah. Very much so.
I've never financially carried a man. No. I think I don't even think in my marriage. I can think of a single time where he just didn't have it. Like, would you? What?
The difference is, obviously there was a gap in age where I was very much young and still kind of like maneuvering and finding myself. Mm-hmm. And at that time, yeah, he seemed more established, but I exceeded that. I mean, I exceeded that. So where you see Amnesty now, I'm not that same Amnesty back then. Yeah. And I don't think he had a good time acknowledging that and seeing that for himself, and that's when it became an overturn.
Yeah, I think one of my most recent dating experiences was probably the close I came to feeling like, oh no, like, oh, you don't spend money? If I want to do things, a lot of O's that I just don't think set well in my spirit. Like,
on a trip,
what does that even feel? All of it just feels crazy, and so those are things that kind of affirms that that's not a lifestyle that I want to live. So. Yeah. Mind if I shift gears a little bit?
Yeah.
You are petty. I want to talk about. You remember I texted you?
Yes.
So when I think about this,
Tamara called me. I'm not gonna go too deep. Tamara called me and gave me these concerns she had, baby, and just unhand my Phuket. Give her back.
Unhand me now. Okay.
You can't afford it. Give her back.
Heavy on you cannot afford me. Just unhead me now. Mm-hmm. And that's like financially, emotionally, you just can't afford me. Like, be done with it. But fair. All right. Switching gears. The reality TV effect is what I want to talk about next. So being that they're on camera and it's everything being talked about. I'm talking you having arguments about sex. Todd saying she wasn't pregnant or it wasn't present. Kandi saying that he wasn't pulling his weight. Just all of the things that kind of gets exposed. Yeah. Do you think being too busy is grounds for divorce? Too busy for sex is grounds for divorce. Like, because I feel like men bring this up more than women, they feel like, which is baffling to me. Y'all don't be getting it in because I really do love to partake in grown-up activities. Y'all don't be liking that? They don't like y'all. These girls don't like y'all. That's what it's coming down to.
So.
But we talked about this. You said exhaustion and all of the things can play into that.
If I'm not happy in certain areas, that half of my body don't work. Okay. And my thing is, I'm not saying that that's something I'm willing to withhold. I'm still going to work with my husband. I'm still going to work with my man. Mm-hmm. I don't ever want him to feel deprived in that way. And I don't have a problem speaking up and saying what I need. Once those things are voiced and it's still an issue, before I hold sex from you, it's a wrap.
So do you think being too busy for sex is grounds for somebody to say, I don't want to be with you?
No. I think that you can work things out in that case. I think that if you express your issues and say, babe, you're not available enough for me, or whatever the case is, XYZ, communication first, and then once we can't come to a common ground, then we can make those type of decisions.
See, I feel like I hear this.
But not impulsively be like, oh, no sex, I got to get out of here.
It's not going to be that. I feel like I hear this conversation more from late 30-somethings and 40-somethings than I do from obviously 20-somethings. I've heard people express that, they're literally having sex twice a year.
Damn.
And that's not an exaggeration. Like,
with a man?
With a whole man, and just they're having sex twice a year. Obviously, the man is complaining about this more than the woman.
Birthdays and Christmas
is what I'm saying, and barely on Christmas. Like, was you on the naughty or nice list? And I just feel like it be getting real naughty when people don't be having a little sex. So, I think it's, in some circumstances, it's a cycle that fuels each other. One person is saying, my body is shutting down and will not have sex because I'm not getting these things. Okay. The other person is saying, I'm not giving you these things because you're not giving me sex. And so if nobody's relenting or if nobody's folding, the cycle doesn't fix itself. And so to me, that is grounds for divorce. There are certain things that I feel like people get married for that you shouldn't have to seek anywhere else. Sex is one of those things. It is just that simple to me. As a woman, I shouldn't have to go ask another man to pay a bill, to change a tire, to do anything other than anything outside of what my husband should be able to do. So as a wife, I feel like it is an obligation and a duty to show up sexually, or then how do you get mad that he's getting it somewhere else? I just feel like those are bare minimum things that fuels a marriage.
This no sex thing goes deeper than deep. And it's a rabbit hole.
I love
so we might have to revisit this. Okay. You know, I like it deep. Like deep. But there are certain reasons a woman would withhold sex. When you have had trials and tribulations of infidelity in your marriage, you don't want to touch that nigga. Like, you cannot fathom touching him.
See,
y'all got to work y'all way back up to that. So you can come back, he can come back from cheating, and then while y'all working it out, but still have access to you sexually, there's things within that. There's me being overstimulated in the household, or may have some shit going on with work, or maybe my motherfucking daddy died or something. You know what I mean? But I may not be always accessible in that way, but for me, I don't believe in withholding sex, but I do believe in communicating sexually on every other spectrum. I'm not a one-dimensional woman, so while I may not be able to physically please you in that moment, we can still communicate and have intimacy in other areas if I'm not able to be physically sexual with you.
Which I agree. I just don't agree with being booked, busy, and tired. And your man can get no coochie, but you keep signing contracts.
Yeah, I don't
like, baby, you gonna have to make some stuff make sense.
I don't believe in that.
Yeah, how you keep adding business ventures, but you're too tired to do the business that comes down to this house. Yeah. And so if this is not a job that you want, if this is not a job that you signed up for, maybe quit this one and go do the ones that you actually want to do.
I don't even like the idea of sex being a job.
I'm saying being a wife.
As a priority yes.
Yes, I'm saying if this is not one of the roles, being that she's an actress, she's all of the things that she wants to play, that's not a role you want to do, then move around.
Now listen, we done all rolled over on the side and said, look, listen, do what you got to do, but I'm tired. So it is what it is.
To me, sometimes sex is like the gym. You don't necessarily want to do it, but once you in it, you in it. Once I get there, I'm in it. Like, I just need to get there. Once I get started, baby, I'm in it. Like, I just need to get there, you know? And so if we can push past the not feeling like it at the time, once I'm in the gym, I'm doing all the shit. I'm already here now. You might as well do the weights, do the this, lift me up.
Homegirl said, I'm woke now. Let me get up here.
It's one of those things that I feel like mentally, once you've pushed through it, you pretty much good to go. And I feel like it's the man that deserves it, because they also pose the argument, are you getting up in the middle of the night to make a sandwich? For the right man, I am.
For my man, I will. Listen,
for the right man.
I done got up and fried some chicken.
As you should. If she said she fried chicken right the first time, she got to double back, okay? Period.
Homemade batter and all. You better ask about me.
So back to the publicity part. Do you think you would personally either change careers if your partner is unhappy with your work schedule and all of the things? You wouldn't do that? Like, if your partner really was like,
what's paying the bills?
It does not work. I mean, in Kandi's household, Kandi Coded Nights.
Yeah, I'm not stopping none of that.
Kandi's Cabaret. She had a lot going on. Was it a cabaret? Did I make that up? It was
I don't remember.
Remember she had that show? No, remember she did that, I don't think it was called Kandi Cabaret, but she did that.
I think that's the Kandi Coded thing.
It was like a live show. It was sexy too. I like that for her. But you would not change your careers for a man?
No.
If my man can put me through school for a new career and was willing to fund it and make sense, and I hated my career, fine. I don't know. I
don't know if I can trust a man.
That would want you to.
I don't know if I can trust. I don't know if I can give somebody that level of trust to carry me. That's something I'm actively working on.
Oh, we should talk about that then, because I guess there's something to unpack.
The way I've raised myself, giving somebody else putting my life in somebody else's hands. I have waited
many
years to have control of my will. No.
So, are you willing to be married again? Because why you got bedtime reminders?
Because I gotta go to bed.
Yeah, as you was late tonight, and now you want to go to bed.
It's my bedtime.
Okay, period. You don't think that giving somebody the benefit of saying that you're married to them, you are their wife, you are now their life partner. I guess what level of control are you willing to relinquish? Like, what's the full buy-in at that point? Is that too much buy-in?
God damn. I'm gonna insert crickets in this part.
Okay, period. She got nothing.
It depends on how financially stable we are, like how wealthy we are. If we are like super, super, super wealthy and I can take a break off and still be lucrative, then yes. Mm-hmm. But if I am carrying us, I don't see myself trusting you with it.
That's fair. Mm-hmm. It would come down to how much he can carry us financially. Because if I'm quitting this job, that means you plan to just pay the bills. And I'm not going to stress myself rushing trying to figure something else out. I'll give you what you're looking for, but you're going to have to make sure that you carry the household.
I don't want you to just pay bills. I want to continue to live the beautiful, fabulous, luxurious life I've been having with what I bring in. So me taking a step back just to go school, just so that you can pay for our expenses, that's not enough for me. I want it to continue for there to be no limitations when it comes to lifestyle, okay, in order for me to take that seat.
All right, I got it.
Yeah.
Switching gears again. So let's go into some rumors. Mm-hmm. When you're dealing with things like cheating rumors that are resurfacing, not a whole lot of receipts out there, just people saying, he might get down and getting around town, and, streets are talking. And, Atlanta's not really discreet. People love to spill tea and tell business. No real confirmed side chicks that I've heard or have come to the surface, but it's still those underlying rumors. And Mama Joyce been saying, when the money gone, she said, when the money gone, he gonna be gone. And she really, really mm-hmm. stands behind that. Mm-hmm. So, in your personal opinion, what's worse, getting cheated on or getting used financially?
Getting used financially.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's worse to you?
Hell yeah. Mm. Yes. That's a different level of deceit. Mm. That's a different level of deceit. Like, think about the wives and the marriages where the man was the manager. Mm. And he's stealing the wig off your damn head when you sleeping at night.
See, I don't be giving nobody that much trust.
It don't matter, but being deceived financially burns a little more.
Financially. So for me, when I think about being used financially, even with the situation I just talked about that I was joking about, there's nothing I've done for or with somebody that I legit did not want to do. Like if I, splurge, whatever it looked like, if I spent my money, it's legit because I wanted to. So for me, I feel more in control of that situation than I do being cheated on. It's harder to manipulate me financially than it is to go out and do something that I have zero control over. So to me, it feels like the cheating would hurt a little more because if I gave to you financially, it's because I was cognizant, I was conscious, and I knew what I was doing.
So giving means giving access to funds because we're married. And
yeah.
Okay. So I'm cheating on you, but I just bought this a condo. She's in a deluxe apartment in the sky off of your funds. Right? The car she driving is off of your funds. I'm cheating. Which one gonna hurt the most when it all come down to you?
My car?
Yes. Yes.
Don't do that to me.
No, I have to because it's perspective.
Stop, drag everybody. Like,
exactly.
No.
So, what I'm trying to say is, out of both of those are heinous crimes. Which one is gonna hurt the most? Him cheating on you or him spending your coin? I'm talking about money. He's spending it.
And I'm taking care of her.
He don't know what he doing. That nigga
just giving it out. What the hell?
Yeah, and you're paying for it.
I'm going to throw the slime in a circle. No, I would be...
Which one gonna hurt more?
Yeah,
the cheats or the spin?
I think the spin.
All right.
Yeah, you and her broke ass just gonna have to go be together, okay?
See?
Yeah. Okay, I see how you got there. I think the emotional gold digging that Todd was doing, he wrote the handbook for. He was just like, look.
Yeah, he was.
He really.
And he was being very spiteful because he hates her. He hates her in real
You
life.
think so?
Yes, he hates her.
Do you think it's like he resents her because of her success, hate, or he just don't like her as a person? Like, what do you think the underlying thing is?
I think it turns into not liking you as a person. I think a person can love you at first, see an opportunity, but still love you and think that going into this space with you is going to bring them, growth, happiness, financial security, whatever. But I think along the lines of going down the road with you and not seeing it play out the way you wanted it to, it then will be like, damn, I dislike you right now. But then it'll turn into, no, I really hate you. Like, I really can't stand you. That's why we see women, being murdered when they can no longer provide this lifestyle for the person. That's when it turns into like a rage, like a hate thing. I do. As a person, they absolutely hate your guts.
I think that's sad. I think
it is, but it's sad. Real. You don't be watching Snap?
A little bit. I watch all of the true crimes now, especially a Snapped. Because those are usually the girls who's out here doing the most. So, all right, we'll switch gears to co-parenting and family. So they got shared businesses. They share these bald-headed kids. I think it was kids like before their current marriage.
Each of them had a baby, a child, and then they had two together.
Part of, I think, the breakdown in their marriage was that they disagree on how to parent their children. And so Todd wants stricter rules. We've seen Kandi just be a little more permissible. She's obviously just a little more passive in that. Would you, do you think you can be with somebody who you vastly co-parent differently from?
Oh, no.
Too much of a deal breaker?
That's a deal breaker for me. Yeah, and why is because foundation means a lot to me. Tradition means a lot to me. The way we raise these kids mean a lot to me. So if we're not in alignment with that, I would be wasting my time. Just because that is something that I am very passionate about when it comes to building and creating a family and our grandchildren sharing those values and traditions. Hell no, I can't. We just can't have kids.
Okay. I think I feel the exact same way. I feel like I've dealt with somebody before that he didn't have children, and so how I've obviously parented kids through several stages, toddlers, preteens, teenager, then I have a kid off to college now. I think that until you've been in it, it's hard to know how you're going to respond to certain situations. And so he would always hypothetically speak about how he would handle things. But until you're emotionally attached in a certain way, you have lived experience with these human beings. It's just a completely different situation.
Yeah.
So to me, co-parenting is one of those things where it's very foundational, and you are molding human beings into productive citizens of this world, and the responsibility of that can't be stuck in between miscommunication and people not being on the same page.
Yeah. And
so for me, it's very important. I can't be with somebody who I don't agree with. If our rules in the same household don't align,
we're going to clash all the time, and we're going to create a household of toxicity, and I don't want that.
I can't do it. So another question when it comes down to, them separating things and just trying to figure out what that looks like next. As two people who are co-parenting together and they have children, do you think you can continue a brand with an ex where you're still doing businesses, you're still running businesses, y'all still have that relationship, and obviously it's benefiting your children, it's creating generational wealth. You're not cutting him out of making money because obviously he still needs to provide when it's on his end. What does that look like to you? Do you think you can separate being with somebody and still having a brand with them, or once you're done, it's all done?
I feel like once we're done, we're all done, depending on how much money the businesses are bringing in.
That's fair.
Because
they have very successful businesses, though. Yeah. So when you got OLG, we love a little old lady gang. Shout out to Nisha, me and her love that. When you got businesses, very successful businesses.
Yeah, very successful.
How fair is it to write them out?
Then it's fair. But if it's something that is kind of just like it's too expensive to keep this type of communication or ties with you, I'm all for just letting it dissolve.
Yeah, I feel like between my most recent ex and then my ex-husband, they both walked away with businesses that I know I helped pour into the brand, the building, the all of the things, and they're successful businesses. I didn't overly attach or entitle myself to something because I know my blessings are going to come elsewhere.
Absolutely.
So to me, I didn't get petty about it, but I can absolutely understand how somebody would feel away that they helped you build these things.
Yeah.
And, you know, whether he contributed financially or not, he was still contributing to the brand. I think that writing people out of their contributions is a little unfair. And I don't know how to feel about that. Do you feel like you're successfully co-parenting with your child's father?
I think I do a good job at not letting it take over my life. I think we disagree on a lot of things. But I also was very young having my daughter, very young getting married. But I've definitely reached a point in my life where certain things aren't worth it. She is primarily with me, so nothing really grinds my gears when it comes to how we co-parent, because I am kind of like the one that has the final say because I'm the primary parent.
Yeah. And I think being the primary parent definitely makes a difference on how much you're willing to invest emotional labor into a co-parenting situation when they're not pulling the same amount of weight. So obviously you show up just a little differently.
Yeah, and I think my daughter's turning 16. I think her being the age that she is currently also kind of helps. Now, she was younger and I was younger.
It was a little different.
I was a different Phuket.
Yeah, now she a real grown Phuket.
Look, I've matured.
You know I hate the word
that
mature.
word.
I hate the word mature. Why y'all think y'all better than us when y'all say that?
Mature.
You can't say mature like the rest of us. You're at mature.
I feel like everybody born in the 70s and later.
Yes, they think they better than us.
They
think they better than us. That's exactly what it is. But yeah, I think with Kamarian's dad, my son's dad, we talk once a year maybe, only when shit blowing up and him and his kids beefing and I got to step in. Do I ever really talk to him? Or if Kamarian's complaining about something, I'll step in. But for the most part, don't really talk to him. And then with Little's dad, with Arya's dad, we have 50-50 custody. Arya spends a lot of time with me, but we still have 50-50 custody, so he knows what his days and whatnot is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that we co-parent pretty well together. There's never arguments. There's never... Yeah, I think we do really, really, really well. Good. I'm actually proud of how we co-parent.
Where are we at on time?
Makes me happy. 9:11. All right, so we're in our final take. So, question for you. Blanketed question. Do you simply feel like Kandi outgrew Todd?
Yes. Yes. I think in my opinion, he didn't rise to the occasion of where she expected him to be, A, financially, and B, just emotionally mature. Because mature. Because of the ways he was trying to out her and the things that he was doing very publicly, was in my opinion was to take jabs or try to bring light to the issues they were having by covering them or sprinkling them in sugar as hypothetical moments.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, I get that. Do you think leveling up kills relationships? Like when a woman grows to a certain space that outgrows her man, do you think that kills the relationship?
Oh, if that man isn't if that man isn't willing to take on that journey with you, and I will say that is truly the reason why I divorced my ex-husband, because I told you, like, I am the bottom of one mountain is the top of one mountain is the bottom of the next for me. And that's the mindset that I have. Any man I attach myself to has to have that mindset. So I think over the years, him being complacent and just content in where we were, I outgrew him because I can't see myself staying right here if it means I have to be with you.
And yeah, see, I do think to some extent, when you are outgrowing somebody, you are, like you said, when that ceiling is the footstool to the next thing, and people aren't taking advantage of proximity and what those blessings could look like for them, absolutely, it creates an imbalance in the relationship. Again, it creates a weird insecurity. Now you are feeding an ego that becomes way more labor than it's worth. And I think it does a disservice to the man. If you don't see yourself growing with somebody or alongside somebody, then it's one of those things where you just step out the way. Like, why make yourself miserable in a situation that you know you can't either keep up with or you don't have the grit to kind of push through? And so that takes me to my next question is, can men handle powerhouse women long term? Like, do you think it starts out super cute and sweet at the beginning and then something changes that dynamic? Or do you think that there are men who can take on powerhouse women very long term and it not be an issue if they never leveled up?
Yes.
Like if he was the manager at McDonald's forever and he loved his life and she kept growing the corporate ladder, she's doing all the things, she's getting her degree, she's doing everything that makes her happy. Do you think that there are men who can take that powerhouse dynamic?
I truly do. I actually know a couple of marriages that work that way. And it's a successful and a loving and a peaceful marriage.
Yes.
I think
because I don't think money should be the end all be all.
No.
That is such a small scope of what a marriage takes. To me, as long as the bills are paid, I don't have an issue. Again, where the issue creeps in for me, it's not about how much you make, it's how you treat me behind
how you make me feel,
how I show up.
Yeah.
And you don't ever have to change your life. If you are content, if you love working your if it floats your boat, it floats mine too. I just don't want you sinking my boat because you feel a way about my boat constantly floating.
And you know what? Let's not act like the men who actually are in that tax bracket treat you the best.
No, they don't. They actually treat you like a commodity. They treat you like, like you owe them something.
Yes.
I almost prefer to.
I can see how women can deal with men and can marry men who make less than them, because the ones that do make as much as us or on the same tax bracket as us, they're not nice people. So even though we're together and there's a kind of an imbalance when it comes to financial success, the things that he brings to the table may be some things that everybody else didn't check the boxes of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that's a lot of what Viola Davis, I think, was saying when she met her husband.
Yes.
Yeah, he probably didn't make all of this money, but he filled her soul. It was everything she prayed for.
Look at Angela Bassett.
Yes.
Angela Bassett and her husband. He doesn't make half of the movies that she makes.
No.
But happily married.
But she loves him.
And she loves him down. Yeah.
And so, takes me to my next question. Is love enough without partnership? He love you down. He just can't contribute to the partnership. He don't have no business ideas. He's not able to grow you in a successful way. But he gonna buy you flowers every week and make you rub your feet and make you feel loved, but there is no real partnership for growth. Can you deal with the situation?
I don't think that's a fair question. The partnership should not only be under the threshold of financial. The partnership can be under every single
so whatever
thing
you consider partnership, he doesn't really, engage in going out with your friends. He's not gonna be the one to push the kids on the swing, but he loves you. Like, he really shows up in love. He just hasn't mastered the art of partnership and whatever that looks like for you.
Yeah, I need you to be my partner in life and on the spades table.
Mm-hmm. Heavy on the space table, because I don't even trust you if you can't be my partner.
Heavy on the space table.
Because why are you reneging? Why are we losing?
Both.
Like,
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, to me, love is just simply not enough. Mm-hmm. I've experienced relationships and men and things enough to know that love is just simply not enough.
Yeah,
it's a good baseline. It's a good start.
Yeah,
but I can't be with somebody who has no aspiration to grow.
Yeah, I'm not that. I am the lover girl, y'all, but I ain't that much of a hopeless romantic.
No, because you're not crazy. No. So I guess my final question to this: would you remarry after this? If you were Kandi and you were getting a divorce and you spent 11 years and this is what it's come down to, do you see yourself remarrying after this?
Yep.
Period. Because we're gonna be married.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes. Because I'm a lover girl and the life goes on, and one monkey don't stop no show.
Because if you want to leave, baby, go ahead and leave.
Baby, you can go, baby.
You can't have one. You gotta have three.
One monkey don't stop no show.
So yes, you would remarry after this?
I would.
I agree. I don't see a world where I think I'll ever be content with or jaded enough to say that I don't want to be married. I don't like to categorize all people. Your experience of somebody can be completely different than how somebody else experiences them. So even putting Todd in a box or a category,
yeah,
that is literally just her experience of him. And so for me, I think that there's too many people on this earth, billions of people. If you limit yourself to the few that you've experienced and make that your overall experience of humans,
and close out,
you're
crazy.
Literally doing a disservice to yourself. There's so many people who you haven't even met yet. Think about just the people you met this week, the people you met last week. There's so many humans to meet that I don't think I would ever close myself off in a way where I feel like I deserve love.
I agree.
I deserve marriage. I deserve happy situations. So I don't think I would do that to myself. All right. So what's one red flag in dating that you would never ignore again?
Jealousy.
They're just jealous.
Jealousy. I will never ignore that again. You have to truly be my biggest fan. You have to truly be my biggest supporter.
Yes.
You have to truly love me in all the different sides of me, because there's so many sides, and you have to truly enjoy the growth that's going to continue to occur. Anything outside of that, I'm never ignoring that again, ever.
I agree. For me, I think it would go alongside of jealousy. I think it's insecurity.
Ooh,
and
that's a good one.
For me, it's the overall picture of insecurity. Not having your own friends, not believing in yourself enough, clinging on to a beautiful woman that you know you can't sustain, or that it doesn't make, like,
holding on for dear life, just hanging on.
Just for dear life is sick. I can't.
You're his first bad bitch. You can't.
I'm the first baddie ever, as you should, King. Period. I'm just a chance giver, you know.
Okay.
But no, I can't deal with people who are insecure within themselves.
Yeah.
It just bleeds. It leaks out. You end up paying for it, and I don't want to be in situations where I have to pay for what somebody else has experienced. So that's it for me.
Yeah.
All right. Same. I enjoyed this topic with you, Misty, and I missed Mercedes. Hi, Mercedes. Hopefully she's somewhere listening in, acting like she love us.
She end up
whipping, you know. So, Misty, what are your Thanksgiving plans?
I'm house hopping this year, you guys. I'm house hopping. I got a couple people to see, a couple things to do, slide down on people, and that's just really it. I want to show everybody I love them.
Yeah. I feel like since Mercedes missed tonight, we should find some time to go house hop to her tomorrow.
Yeah,
she
definitely.
Did cook indeed, and she swears she Big Mama who be cooking.
She got that auntie arm, y'all.
She do. She said, "Big Mama, your arm," We just laugh. So, Misty, what's the MILF ticket of the night? Pooh?
If you wanna go, baby.
Hey. Go ahead
and walk out the door. Bye. Because,
she said, one monkey don't stop no
show.
show.
That's the MILF ticket of the night.
Is that if you want to leave, baby? Go ahead and leave.
She said Sunday at 3 at Big Mama.
At Big Mama's.
Big Mama, your arm. We gonna be there.
Big Mama wanted us to get the family together.
I just see this thing. This is so off topic. Thank y'all so much. That really is the end of the episode.
Am I really that much to handle? Breaking these niggas down like a camel.